And the Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress. Man, what a promise. I love it. It's repetitive. It's like their chorus of this song. And having lived in Alexandria, I lived where there's a great fortress right at the seamount. Because Alexandria is one of the great cities of the ancient world. It was one that was influential. When you think of Queen Cleopatra, that was her base, was Alexandria. When you think of the great library of Alexandria, that's where they got the knowledge of the ancient world and accumulated it there. People would come by ship and they would go and find, do you have any manuscripts? Do you have any books? They would take their books and make copies before they released the books back to the people so they could go on their way. That's how serious they were about accumulating knowledge. And so as we stood at this place, there was a lighthouse there for generations. It was a lighthouse that stood. It's the ancient lighthouse of Alexandria. And in this very place, this is the Citadel at Kite Bay. And that's the very place where that lighthouse stood. And it stood actually on an island in that day, and now it's connected to the land. But in that day, it stood out as a lighthouse, as a safety, as a place of strength. And what was interesting is that an earthquake knocked that lighthouse down 1,000 years ago. And when they did, the lighthouse was already a place of strength. So what did they do? They turned it into a fortress. Because it was already all the things that would weather the storm and weather the ships and weather the battle. And now it became a fortress. And here's the thing, even today, being an ancient thing like that, even with all the technology and all the crazy weapons we have, there's something about standing behind 4 feet of stone, you feel pretty safe. You know what I mean? You feel a lot better than standing behind, wood and stucco in your house. You know what I'm talking about? And no hate on that, we all live in wood and stucco, but the idea is like, man, I come back here, I'm like around this stone and like brick and concrete, and I go into my house and I'm like, I could poke a hole through this thing with a sharp stick. It's like, there is no safety. Thanks be to God, He's our safety. But there's something about that safety, that God is our fortress. He is that stone place of safety. He's the one we run to and are safe, that nothing gets to us. Let's say that together. God is our fortress. God is our fortress. It's the truth. Verse 8.